Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Adventures in Dudeness. Welcome. Well, I came across recently. It was written back in December of 2022, so almost 2 years ago, and it was published by Polis Pandit, P-O-L-I-S-P, and Polis. I don't know, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but anyway, nevertheless, not really quite sure who the author is, but we, I don't know, kind of stumbled across this. I can't really remember where. Maybe on uh, um, oh goodness, Pinterest. So anyway, the title of the article is 23 Rules for Manliness in 2023, which I don't know if I would really consider these rules, right? There's really no rule. There's nothing set in stone. I mean, if there were rules or a book or a unified method or what have you of manliness, right? I probably wouldn't have this podcast. We probably wouldn't have all these podcasts and YouTube channels and books and publications and all this other stuff having to do with this, right? Because we'd all just get all handed the same book and we'd all act the same, and this is what's expected of us, and so on and so forth. We would kind of figure it out, which obviously this show is kind of my way of trying to figuring it out, and maybe sharing or directing some of you men out there that maybe kind of are lost like I was, right? So anyway, in the article, he speaks of course, some very notable male influences on the internet. A lot of them have podcasts, stuff like that. Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Lex Friedman, which I'm not sure who he is. Maybe if I saw him. Ben Shapiro, Liver King, Alex Hormozy, Andrew Tate. Things basically that while I'm not going to throw total shade at these gentlemen, because I listen to some of them, and I take from what they present that is pertinent to me, or that I think is good material, we'll say. I don't live, or I don't follow everything that they say word for word, and to be honest with you, some of it can be portrayed as kind of toxic, or maybe too intense or aggressive. But whatever works for them is great, and I hope they carry on. But he also, or I imagine this is a he, right? This is a he article, even though I don't know who the artist is, or the the writer is, rather. He's a married guy, so I guess he mentions that, with a 19-month-old son, so he's a father. And he's in his mid-30s, so I guess I'm in my late 30s now. Um, but this is kind of, I think, around the same time I started to question all this stuff. Was a few years ago, which would be my mid 30s. But yeah, he kind of points out that, possibly these social media types that we follow or listen to or watch, that they're kind of using their audience to that their focus is more of financial gain and not truly helping people. I guess it's their way to sell certain products for men to enhance your performance or change your life overnight, whatever, what have you. Again, as a man who takes not a ton of supplements, but daily vitamin, multivitamin for men, turmeric, um, what's the other one? Calcium. Is it calcium? I don't know. The one for your joints, and then a prescription medication. And then recently, I switched from I was taking a testosterone supplement that I would get at Walmart or any vitamin store, and I tried a bunch of different ones. But recently I was put on TRT Androgel, so that seems to be working out pretty well for me, and I've hence since stopped taking that supplement. But none of these were really sold to me. I came across these as I was having a hard time mentally, and maybe some of that was related to pain, and maybe if I got rid of my pain and I felt better, that mentally I would do better, and possible, vitamin deficiencies, things of that nature. So vitamins are probably about the easiest way, I guess, that you can go about trying to maybe identify maybe an issue you have going on physically that is causing some issue, problems mentally or emotionally, right? But yeah, basically he kind of goes through and just sort of decides to, in my opinion, make his not so epic, right? That's where we're at here. That's kind of the whole name of the game here. Is we're not looking for the Liver Kings or the Jordan Petersons or the Joe Rogans. We're just trying to figure some shit out and be the best man that we can be every day, and realize that life is not always epic. We're not all making gains, and we don't constantly overwhelm ourselves with trying to fix things fix things all at once, right? We're just kind of working on ourselves little by little and trying to achieve maybe just a generally better self-image, or image, maybe in our, the image that our spouse sees us, or children, or coworkers, or other family members and friends. We're just trying to better ourselves. So this is his 23 rules for manliness. And I think it's a very realistic list. And I'm going to read through and kind of add my 2 cents in as we go. So number 1 is read books. And books work too. I occasionally enjoy an audio book. I drive a lot for work, so it kind of works out really good. He mentions how podcasts are, a lot of them are rambling, which maybe mine is too. Kind of, maybe I shouldn't have thrown that in there. Maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot here, but, I'm down with that. I think that books Um, Books are a great way to maybe relax if you're really into reading. Um, it's just a different form of media. Um, and then rule 2 says, he says, read more history and fiction. History will teach you about the past, which we never seem to learn sufficiently, and fiction will teach you empathy, which everyone needs more of in this world, especially men. And I can agree with that. I do enjoy history. Uh, I don't overly consume history, but I like to dabble in it every so often. And yes, I agree. Empathy, especially speaking for myself, I'm not throwing judgment, but for me, is probably one of the hardest things that I have to kind of learn. Number 3, eat like a normal human. Stop molding your diet off the Liver King. Don't listen to the guy who eats seed oil on TikTok. And definitely don't try to match all the beef eating habits of Jordan Peterson. Consume a balanced diet with few extremes, and most of you will be just fine. Yeah, I can agree with that. It's I think over time we've had these diets and foods and science. 1 minute bacon is bad for you, the next minute bacon is good for you, et cetera, et cetera. Make up your mind, kind of thing. I think that maybe the biggest issue for food is probably portion size. If you kind of look at the United States portions versus other countries, our portions are huge, like almost double or triple other countries. So I think really you can kind of eat probably whatever you want, just smaller portions, right? No need to go to any kind of extremes. Number 4, cook. Real men know how to cook up a good meal. Your family will thank you. During the he says during the pandemic, he missed Chinese food, so he learned how to make it himself, and his wife bought him a cookbook, and it's therapeutic for him, and a new form of expression. I'm a pretty decent cook. I think a lot of us probably grill or smoke or whatever, but yeah, you've seen on the YouTube channel me making pickles and smoking stuff on the smoker, and usually Sundays is kind of my day now that my wife works a second job to kind of facilitate the family meal. Actually, tonight's Friday. I made chicken quesadillas for dinner. Last Sunday, I made chicken broccoli Alfredo. So yeah, I'm a pretty good cook, and I do, I could agree with that. It makes me happy to feed my family and kind of see their reaction from the food that I cook. Number 5, practice basic social etiquette. I probably have a hard time with this too. So he mentions shaking hands firmly, looking people in the eye when speaking, holding doors open for ladies, and make small talk even though you know it's not worth your time. Be a human, try to be interested in other people, and you could learn something about them and yourself. Yeah, I have kind of a issue with eye contact. My handshake's pretty firm. And I've, over time, learned how to shake hands and look the person in the eye and give a good handshake and all that stuff. But yes, I can be sort of passive when it comes to speaking to people and looking them in the eye. I don't know. That's one of my downfalls. So probably something I need to work on. And always, hold doors open for ladies. I always hold the door open for anybody that's coming. I think it's just polite. And you don't have to know someone's whole life story. But, just say good morning, good evening, have a good night, stuff like that. Just be polite, and if somebody starts to, talk to you, don't be an asshole. Just, kind of conversate, make small talk, whatever. It's not going to kill you. Exercise regularly, but don't kill yourself. I agree. He actually mentions in here something that I am a very firm believer in. If you sit for long periods of time, make a conscious effort to move more at regular intervals. Simple stretching and some cardio for a few minutes a day is all most people need. Get active, but nothing crazy. We don't need to do a 20-mile rock or anything like that, but just be mindful. Be mindful of kind of your movement throughout the day. I have noticed now that I'm doing more administrative work for the company I work for, that I'm sitting a lot more, and it's kind of, I think it's kind of catching up to me. Next he says, if you're single, focus on improving yourself. He's not notating that you're doing anything wrong. But if if you're good with being a bachelor and being by yourself, then, fine, more power to you. But if you do want a partner, do what you can control, your appearance, lifestyle, and routines. Don't blame others of society for any of your woes, because there is so much you can control for yourself. I haven't been a single man in many, many years, so I don't really have to worry about this, but nevertheless, if you are, and married men, we need to work on ourselves too. We, what's the saying there? Date your wife, kind of thing. Number 8. Invest, but question everything and everyone. Don't put your money somewhere just because somebody told you to. Obviously, investing is always a good idea, saving. But do the research yourself. Don't get caught up in pyramid schemes or, get rich quick stuff. Be mindful of where you're putting your money, especially these days. Next, number 9, scrutinize any promoted product. Do your own research before buying or using products by getting information from multiple sources. This is kind of a good rule of thumb. I would say maybe anything like really expensive, probably, or anything that claims to like totally change your life. Obviously, we all, I think since the beginning of television and infomercials, there's always a new product that is going to revolutionize your life. I don't think it's been found yet, but nevertheless, it could be out there. But pull information from multiple resources. I'm a big believer in watching reviews of people that are not promoting the product, like that actually bought the product, not that it wasn't given to them. And I'm not saying that people who some people who do reviews, I know some of the stuff is provided for them. They're usually pretty upfront about it, and will still give a pretty honest review. The next one is probably pretty pertinent for the times right now, and probably has been for the past few years. Consume news media, but act as your own editor. There's a lot of bullshit out there. And myself personally, I like independent journalists. I always try to find independent, non-biased news, so that way I kind of know it's true. Or what I'll do is I will kind of look for the same type of story with the same kind of main topic, and check between all of the news sources. and see kind of what generally, if they're all saying the same thing, you can probably believe that. I would avoid some of the opinion stuff, but yeah, definitely consume news. Very little. I really don't watch a lot of news. I haven't probably since maybe 4 or 5 years ago, especially with COVID and stuff. It just got very overwhelming and made me very kind of anxietal, and so. Number 11, you don't need to know every story. Take a news break once in a while, which I have done. Basically, check the weather. That's my big thing. But he says, instead of reading the news, you can read a book, exercise, spend time with family, tune stuff out, etc., etc. Insert your own activity there if you would like. Let's see. Number 12, take social media breaks. I would agree with this also, especially within the past, 2 weeks. Yeah, there's, after Tuesday, or on Tuesday, there's just been a plethora of meltdowns and hateful things being spewed all over the internet. People, absolutely just divided. No longer friends with this person or that person because of their political views or moral views or religious views or whatever. Yeah, I think we live in a time now where people seem to forget that we're all entitled to our own opinion, and it doesn't need to be an argument. And we don't need to end things because of differing opinions. And we all have a right to voice them, right? If one side is allowed to voice them, then the other side should be allowed to. It's just fair, right? And here in this great country that we live in, amendment number 1 is freedom of speech, and I'm not saying you should go on anything and wish harm or death to anyone, but you are free to say whatever you would like without the fear of imprisonment or any type of to some extent any type of fines or justice or anything like that. It's I would definitely say take social media breaks. A very dear friend of mine who has his own podcast, he also believes in he uses social media very little to promote his podcast and kind of the things he does, and that's kind of it, which I think is great. I think it's a great kind of a great habit to have. Number 13, get out into nature. Even the Apple CEO Tim Cook says that while he has an awful work-life balance, getting outside at least once per day is like a palate cleanser for the mind. If you're in the city, find some green space and just walk or sit. As humans, nature is our natural environment, not concrete jungles, and definitely not suburbia. Yeah, absolutely. I am so fortunate to have the job that I have because, just today I was doing some work on a home on the St. Lawrence River, right across from Canada. And while it was not the greatest weather, actually, I'm outside every day. I work outside every day. And even on my days off for my leisure time, I spend time outside. So I'm not a person who is into being cooped up, and I don't really think that as humans we should be. So take some time, get out in nature, take a little walk around the block, maybe plan a camping trip, take a ride, something like that. even if you're not into like bugs and woods and dirt and all that stuff, you can still hop in your car, take a ride through the plains or the mountains or whatever you have around you, um, and enjoy it from the safety of your automobile. Number 14, ignore hustle culture. This is so true. This, there is no get rich quick scheme. If there is, I would be very leery of it. Because most of the time you're taking advantage and hurting people most of the time. And in my opinion, I don't believe it's a good quality of life. I really don't. I think to constantly, and I've done this. I've done the hustle culture. That this is that I do this for free. This is my entertainment, I guess, and hopefully some of yours. But and if I could make some money off of it, great. But that's not my aim here. As you know or may not know, at one point when I was in a very low place in life, I basically tried to cure myself with hustle culture. I was working 4 jobs all at once. It doesn't last long. It's exhausting. In my opinion, you are truly not living your life. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't try to do the best that we can financially. I'm not saying that if we want to, do certain things, if you want to write a book, if you want to do a podcast, if you want to do a YouTube channel, sure, great, do it. I do it, right? But don't look at it as, I guess don't look at it as a job, because who the fuck wants to do that? Like, I don't look at this as my job. Like, I enjoy doing this. If you make it into a job, eventually you're gonna peter out, so to speak. So, take time, enjoy life. Maybe change some things some ways that you live or spend money or whatever, so that way you don't have to constantly be working from sunrise to sundown and in through the night and living off 3 hours of sleep, because it doesn't last long. It sucks. Number 15, journal. Yeah, and practice gratitude as well. It's always been hard for me. I've tried to journal and practice gratitude, and I do it for, I don't know, a week or 2 or 3, and then sometimes I just come to a point where I don't have anything to say. And then the gratitude, it feels like repetitive, right? So, apparently that's totally okay. From what I've found all over the internet when it comes to journaling and practicing gratitude and stuff. But yeah, it's always good to, I guess, write down goals or things that are going on in your life, or ways to hold yourself accountable. There's all different kinds of journals out there you can use, prompts and everything. I'm really into journaling. I just can't seem to get my ass to fucking do it every day. Yeah. When you practice gratitude, you realize how really good your life can be, or is, currently, and maybe that will stop you from, the previous number of hustle culture. If you're grateful for what you have, what do you need to hustle for? You have everything you need. So yeah, absolutely. Do that. Journal. Practice gratitude. Number 16, travel outside your comfort zone. Yeah, I think everybody should do this. I'm not saying as far as traveling outside of your comfort zone. I'm not really quite sure in what context. Like, probably shouldn't be, well, I've always wanted to try crystal meth. No, you probably should avoid that. We should stay within that comfort zone of not doing crystal meth. But if you want to go see the Grand Canyon, well, fucking do it. Miss work those couple extra hours maybe, and or put off some other things and travel outside your comfort zone. Do things you wouldn't be. Let's see. I had this, and I have this picture, and I'll have to post it. It's actually a patch, and I'm a big patch collector, amongst other things. But one of my favorite patches I've ever come across, and I had this on up on something as my profile picture or background picture. Don't be afraid to suck at something new. So, go outside your comfort zone, and if you want to maybe learn how to paint, go do that. It doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to suck at it at first. Moving on. Number 17, find new inspirations to actually create things. Now, this, I think, is a really good piece of advice. And we, these influencers, and I guess myself, right? They basically sit down in front of a microphone and they talk. They don't actually create anything except for their own thoughts or random thoughts, or their own criticisms, I guess, on how they should be doing something. So, I don't fall into this. I mean, I do the YouTube or the podcast, but I also have the YouTube channel and Instagram and stuff, and I show you stuff that I do. And a few episodes back, we kind of went over what I thought was some useful tips to get ready for winter. So yeah, find kind of people who create things, artists or musicians or woodworking, anything. But find someone who I guess is more passionate than just kind of showing up and talking into a mic for a couple hours and turning around, walking out the door, and not putting any more thought into anything, I suppose. Number 18. I also agree with this. These are great. There's some things on here that I really do 100% agree with. Number 18. Clean up your physical life. Get rid of shit. Get rid of clutter. Open the windows. Clean the toilet, because nobody likes to fucking do that, but do it anyway. Get rid of your old clothes. Well, I shouldn't even say clothes. I think people have a very bad habit of holding on to probably 3 things for too long. Number 1, underwear. Number 2, socks. Number 3, towels. I have some towels in this house that are probably fucking almost 20 years old. Okay, so sometimes it's time to go out with the old and in with the new. I'm not saying everything has to be to throw everything out and buy new. But yeah, clean up your life. Organize the shed, or clean the garage, or maybe clean out the beer fridge. Get rid of some. I know in mine, I for some reason have I know why. I have a collection of other people's stuff that they've left behind, and it's just a hodgepodge and has been in there for, I don't know, 2 years. Maybe it's time to get rid of that stuff and give the beer fridge a good douching. Freshen some stuff up. Maybe touch up some paint or paint a wall. Clean the windows. Do stuff out of the ordinary. But we always feel better, right? When number one, we've accomplished something, and number two, when we can visually see it. So cleaning is probably about the best you can do, right? Um, and then number 19 is clean up your digital life. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have like, good God, Google will not leave me alone for the past like 2 months. Oh, you're almost out of space in your email. Yeah, I probably got, I don't know, 100,000 emails that I need to go through and delete. And that's something I need to make a priority. You know, if you're a content creator like myself, or maybe do a lot of work on the computer, go through and create new files. Use thumb drives, use external hard drives. Delete old files you don't need. Do whatever it is you need to do to get it organized, and you'll feel more organized, and you'll feel more focused, and you'll know where things are. So, yeah, absolutely good advice there. Clean up your physical life, and then clean up your digital life as well. Number 20, laugh once per day. There, I just gave you a little bit of a laugh. Yeah, I enjoy comedy, and while we mentioned taking a social media break, occasionally I'll be flipping through some reels while I'm otherwise indisposed. And don't judge me. Everybody looks at their phone on the toilet. And find a funny reel or video or whatever. Kind of makes me laugh. So yeah, laugh once per day. Dad jokes are always good. I enjoy them. The next one is I don't want to. This may sound unfair, so I think I'm going to reword this. Get in contact with family members, I guess. I think we've discussed before. We can have some really toxic family members that probably should nix from our life. But the ones that you do have that are in good standing, I guess, with you, be in their life. Give them a call. I would say most importantly, usually, like my mom, I talk to her once a week, if not more, but at the very least once a week. Same thing with my sister. My dad, he gets the, I guess by his choice, but he gets kind of the background treatment when I'm talking to my mom. We'll converse a little bit if he's listening in the background. But it gets back to gratitude, and especially your family at home. Take some time to walk in and put your phone down, shut the TV off, and, or over dinner while you're cooking, doing house chores, eating, just kind of, hey, how was everybody's day kind of thing, or good morning, or how was school, or how was work, stuff like that. Number 22. We're getting close to the end here. We got 2 left. Wow, sorry, this has gone a little longer than I thought it was going to. Number 22, water your friendship plants, but only a few. Yeah, I think as we get older, our friend groups get smaller. We get into adulthood here, and we have, I guess, what I would call acquaintances, work friends, stuff like that. And then we have our good friends, maybe people that have stuck around for years that we still talk to. I suppose I'm really kind of bad at this, but my birthday was the other day, and I actually got a phone call from a friend of mine who I really haven't talked to in a long time, probably almost 20 years. And, we were just, I guess I felt like we were in different places in life. I was, I had 4 stepkids, and was doing the family thing at 19, and he was partying and bucking off and doing the fun stuff, I guess, or stuff that's appropriate for that age. And now he's older. He's almost 40 years old, and as a child himself, that's younger. And is married and is now doing the family thing. And there's some other issues, not necessarily between us, but with other people that we knew that he kind of still talks to, and I would rather not have any contact with or have them know anything about me. So that's kind of why I've avoided him. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Out of all my friends, he is the only person who actually, well, I should say, out of all my acquaintances, he's the only person who actually called me up and wished me a happy birthday. So that really kind of meant a lot. And I've really kind of been reflecting on that for the past few days. And that maybe I should take the time and maybe, put some more effort or maybe retry that friendship again, because, it was really cool. It really meant a lot to me. So, I got a lot of text messages and stuff, which is always great. I always appreciate everything that anybody does, to acknowledge me, right? Because that's just the human thing to do. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. I someone that I've barely even had a paragraph worth of conversations with over the past 20 years calls me and wishes me a happy birthday. So I really appreciated that. And I think that's kind of what number 22 is about. Put that effort into those meaningful relationships and friendships, and maybe kind of weed out the bad ones. And then lastly, number 23, cherish every day. You don't know which one will be your last. And as we all know, some of us better than others, that in an instant, that can change very, very fast. Faster than you can blink. So yeah, definitely get up every day and fulfill yourself, or fulfill your life every day, and take advantage of every moment that you have above ground, because at some point we sadly will not. And I think that's a very important and true statement, and that we definitely need to remember that every day. As the Stoic philosophers say, that's kind of their basis, is to the whole basis of Stoic philosophy is to live every day like it's your last. Carpe diem, seize the day, right? So, with that said, we will wrap up for this episode. Again, I appreciate everybody stopping by and taking a listen, tuning into this episode. If you would, please leave me a comment if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you enjoyed this episode or not, or if you would like to kind of share some of your rules of manliness that you have for yourself. Maybe something that wasn't mentioned. That would be great. I would love to see those and maybe share them on the next episode. As always, you can email adventuresanddudeness@gmail.com, and also find me on X and Instagram. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for tonight, or this morning rather, right? Because the show is for the early birds, 6 a.m. every Monday. You can count on that for sure. And yeah, I hope to see some more stuff, or some more listeners tuning in. I hope, and share this with your friends and family and all that good stuff. But for tonight, take care of yourselves and each other.